Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a great weekend. Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin, see what's going on. We'll make this very quick and easy for us. I can summarize in one word, bearish. Okay, so Bitcoin is not looking fantastic. Let's quickly double check some liquidation ranges. I do feel like there's still a little pocket left at 81,000. That's a potential reality for us here. We look at the local range though, pretty much everything locally has been swept. We take a look at the macro. This is where you can kind of identify that pocket at about 81,000. It's a little sparse between 80 to 78K, but generally speaking, there is probably somewhere in the range about 20 to 30 billion in the 81K range. It's quite a lot. As a matter of fact, each one of these bars is somewhere between 4 to 5 billion. So it's a lot of liquidation there. Decent chance we see further downside. Liquidation delta is super high at 15 billion. Shorts, basically implying that shorts are in play. There's no reason to take a long into this. As I mentioned yesterday and even the day before, we've been shorting Bitcoin for quite a little while, actually for 3 days rather, but we sent a trade 3 days ago, 40% on Bitcoin and 35% on XRP. Kind of wish we'd spread out our targets a little longer on the XRP trade, but hindsight's 2020. Let's quickly look at our liquidation ranges and double check kind of where we're at for open interest. We can see ton of open interest above us, so 85 to 86K will be that new resistance for us if the price were to retest that level. So just know a lot of open interest / exit liquidity in the 84 to 85K range. As per usual, that was supposed to work as a support level, but it didn't, right? And I mentioned previously too, I was considering taking a long at the 85K range, but once more, I don't take longs in the blind. And even though that was a somewhat of a back test of that descending trend line, it still didn't hold, and you want to wait to see if things hold too. Future reference, I posted that information in our trade alerts section here. So if you are part of our community, make sure you're reading through this. I kind of give you, heads up on price structure and scenarios that need to play out or are going to play out. Basically just updates on our current trade signals are in there, and those are also potential trade setups too. So do not forget to tune into that. Take a look at the daily though. Here we have a fair value gap about 86,000 as low as 84.7. So there is a potential reality for us to sweep that fair value gap at some point. I wouldn't expect it over the weekend. Weekend's been notoriously red. It makes sense that we're seeing the 12th out of 13 red weekends so far for this year. It's just commonplace now, folks. There's nothing stopping it from happening. Weekends are profit-taking weekends, basically. That's just how it works. Having said that, there's nothing bullish here on the daily time frame. I'm not going to try to convince you that there's anything here. I've been telling you for a while that there really isn't, but the overall sentiment, truthfully, is if we're above the 20 and the 50-day SMA, that's the biggest benefit or the thing we want to look for. So we truly want to be up here in this range of 88 or 90K or higher. That would put us in a much better position to have broken this descending type of trend. While we have spent a couple of days above this ascending trend line, it's the typical fake outs, folks. I mean, I've been talking about the power of 3 and different trade setups here that we keep seeing with these manipulative waves down. This wasn't just a manipulative wave. This is a manipulative run. This is definitely coming down a lot harder and faster than it should, but there's some fundamental catalysts that occurred too as well on Friday yesterday with some of those what was it, PME if I'm not mistaken. Either way, let's take a look here at the 4-hour. We can see everything's truly bearish. As I mentioned yesterday too, getting closer to 30 on the RSI does imply we're reaching a tentative bottom, but on a day like today, there's no reason to consider taking a long. Really, there's just a simple way to understand it. I don't necessarily even recommend taking a short at this point. No trade's the best trade. I don't like shorting what feels like a tentative bottom. We don't really know where the true bottom is here, because if you do look and you kind of zoom out, our points of control are above the price action. That reinforces resistance at about 84,000. So we come back up to 84K, distinct chance we continue lower. But right now, until we get that bearish back test, I'm not really willing to take any kind of shorts or additional shorts. We're already in pretty good profit for our short from 87,000. So it's just kind of how it goes right now, folks. Hourly time frame's not going to tell us anything different. There's no hidden bearish or bullish divergences here. There's significant overextension, and that is one thing obviously to note. We are due to correct at some point once we find our bottom, but you truly don't know where the bottoms are at. And that's just kind of how it goes right now. So I would just recommend waiting on the sidelines. Don't take any trades. If 81,000 gets hit, that's a distinct potential area of consideration. I would love to take a long in the 80 to 81K range. At this point, it seems like that's a viable option if we were to see that. But I'm not going to just, set a limit order at 81,000 for a leverage trade, right? You don't do that. You can, however, of course, set a limit spot order. That's a different story altogether, but just not a good recommendation in general to trade this weekend with any type of leverage. So just take it easy, folks. Spend time with your family, do the right thing, and don't trade. That's really what it boils down to right now. Either way, thanks so much for watching. Hope you learned something today. Comment below if you get a chance. Join us over on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. Got a lot of good fundamental stuff there coming through as well. But mainly too, check out Bitunix. No KYC or VPN required. These guys are awesome. And this is mainly just a promotion for my current community members, so be sure to take advantage of this. Okay, it's available until April 26th. All right, hope you all have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.